All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Cantrips and Cocktails. I am Brandon, your DM and world builder. We'll go ahead and have the players introduce themselves. To my left, we've got...
Landon, who plays Celty.
Ben as Cain.
And I'm Colin, playing Varis.
All right, and so tonight we have a delicious drink prepared by Colin. Colin, will you tell us about it?
Ooh, yeah, so this is actually one of my favorite cocktails. This is called and it's French, so don't mind the pronunciation. It's a Vieux Carré, which is French for Old Square. So this is a New Orleans drink.
Okay.
Pretty much the New Orleans riff on a Manhattan.
It's almost like you have a wife that went to Tulane.
Truth. So it's Manhattan of the 2-part spirit to 1-part vermouth. The spirit is a split base of rye and cognac.
Okay.
So equal parts rye, cognac, sweet vermouth, a bar spoon of Benedictine, which is a herbal liqueur, a couple dashes of bitters, stir it over ice, and that's what you get.
That's great.
Yeah.
So
Very nice.
All right, let's pretend to be wizards and shit. Last time we were playing, you guys finally came out upon the king of the Scorched Timbers. He was not a spiritual ghost entity, as you might have been led to believe prior, but he turned out to be this bronze skinned, almost looks like it's metallic dwarf with his hair and his beard made of fire. And he quickly saw through your all's attempt at a social interaction solution.
I thought I did a pretty convincing, fanatic for a couple of seconds.
For a little. I'll say this: it worked until it didn't, and it ensued was a battle between the king of the Scorched Timbers and his 2 magma mephit henchmen. But also within that scorched glen with that pool of lava in the center was, you all thought chained up, was a helpless gnome in some armor. Turns out that she had escaped herself and was waiting for an opportunity, and you guys seemed to be it. So she joined you in battle. You all commenced fighting, and at the very end, you all actually broke this, whatever kind of enchantment was put upon this entity, and he has fallen to the ground I don't remember exactly what I said he said, but he's just fallen to the ground. He said, "What have I done?" basically, and he's looked up at all of you. As you guys defeated him, you guys did notice that a bracelet that was on his wrist shattered. It's still there's just 2 pieces of it. It's not like in small bits. There's 2 pieces of it, but it has fallen to the ground as well. But this being, his beard of fire blazing around him, he's on the ground. He's kneeling before all 3 of you, well, 4 of you. And he just looks up at you and he says, I wasn't myself. What have I done? What would you guys like to do? And he did say that his name was Vulko. So you guys did learn his name was Vulko.
Who wants to take the lead on this one?
I think I've got, I'm the one that called for the halt, so I guess I'll...
Yeah, I've still got my axe just ready to go.
Yeah. You have created quite a mess here. I want to trust you, and I want to believe you, but if you attack my comrades and I from this point forward, we will not hold back.
Roll. I know you're not meaning it this way, but this is the closest thing I can think of. Roll an intimidation check.
That is... I gotta find my intimidation modifier. 18.
18.
Yeah.
He just looks at you, and then looks around this glen. He sees these trees that have been scorched, and they're kind of these charred husks of what they once were, and they're starting to curl. He sees the dried grass, some of the parts like scorched, and he then just turns and looks back to you, and he says, I'm not going to do anything. Well, I'm sorry. The gnome standing next to you right now, Varis, puts her club on the ground next to her and sort of folds her arms over her chest. She goes, "All right, guys. Well, nice working with you. Who are you? What did Chester send you for me? I mean, what brought you to the woods?"
As I'm walking over, I kick over one of the dead methods. Just like kick it out of the way.
You don't, because the methods exploded.
Oh, that's right. They exploded. Never mind.
Wasn't there some other like fiery creature too? That it wasn't a mephit. It was like a.
No, it was 2 methods and the King of the Scorched Timbers.
Okay.
You guys fought Magman.
That's what I was thinking of, but those were not here.
Yeah, those weren't here.
I don't think we knew you were even here. We were just here from town. This just happened to be a nice little coincidence. But at the same time, hi, I'm Cain.
Oh, hi. And she reaches out a hand, shakes yours. She goes, "The name's Salanop. Salanop Waggletop."
Quite a name. Salanop?
Salanop Waggletop. Of the Fortune Hold Waggletops.
Interesting name. Okay, I'm not used to. I'm not familiar.
You're not familiar with the Waggletops?
Would Celty recognize this name?
Roll. Yeah, Celty would. The Waggletops are a very prominent family within the Southern Mysterium Trading Company, which region you guys are in. Hiram Waggletop is one of the chief engineers and mechanical designers for the company.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So he's a mechanic.
He's like
inventor. He's an inventor, a
okay.
tinkerer,
Okay.
kind of.
In that case, if it's Southern Mysterium, would I have any?
You wouldn't know this. Okay. No. Yeah, you'd have no knowledge of that.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. These are my cohorts. I'll let them introduce themselves. And they're
Selling up Waggletop. Nice to meet you.
Varis Leoden, the pleasure is mine.
All right, you seem not cut out for this. What's your name?
Celty.
Celty. Oh, nice to meet you, Celty.
Yes. Nice to meet you, Salanop.
Absolutely. You're kind of old. All right, so
how old is she looking like?
Roll a perception check.
Okay. That's bad. 10 total.
10 total?
Yeah.
Gnome ages are weird, man. I mean, she could be 15, but at the same time she could be 50, 60. Yeah. It's hard to tell with gnomes. They keep that youthful vibrance for a long time.
Gotcha.
I flip my axe over and put the blade down on the ground and just kind of lean over on the handle, just looking at her. Just like, so what on earth brings you over here? Is it the same thing that brings us? We were sent from the town.
Well, I don't know what brings you here.
We were sent from the town to investigate some, well, frankly, people described it as a ghost or some spirits.
Yeah. So he's not a ghost.
No, very much aware of that now.
Yeah. My cousin Chester told me to come, see what's going on here. I don't know. The word got to Fortune Hold about something going on, and they sent me.
Would the name Fortune Hold
Yeah, Fortune Hold is the main hub capital for the company on Ubiquitous for the Southern for SMT Co.
It's on the other side
on
of the
Ubiquitous.
Okay,
yeah, it's like the if you were to think of this area in terms of a country, Fortune Hold is the capital of SMT Co.'s region.
Okay, gotcha. Because Can I call you Sal?
Nope, Salinop.
Okay, Sal, do you know where you are?
Yeah, we're in some kind of forest, I don't know, about like an hour's hike outside of Port Mara.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure you had your wits about you. How long
Do
ago?
I not seem like I have my wits about me?
Well, considering our encounter with Vulko here, I just want to be sure everybody did.
Nope, I'm as me as the day I was born.
Great. That's comforting. How long ago did you come to the forest, and how long?
Oh gosh,
have you been?
I think I've been in here for about 4 or 5 days.
5 days.
He and some of his underlings got the jump on me, and I've kind of been biding my time. I escaped about 3 hours ago, and I was kind of waiting for an opportunity. And lo and behold, you guys stumbled in the glen. I was like, hey, if there's a time like any, it's now.
Well, fair enough.
Was your cousin Chester?
Chester, yeah.
Was he going to follow up if he didn't hear from you?
No, the follow up was me coming here and solving the problem for the company, and then I would go home and tell Chester that I took care of the problem.
If you hadn't have escaped, what would have been the next course of action?
That I never thought that far, honestly.
That's okay.
Chester said danger, and I was like, I got it.
Cool.
So I went.
Great.
Fantastic.
Well, why don't we all, provided Vulko behaves, why don't we all head into Port Mara, get a drink, and talk about what just happened?
At this point, Vulko stirs a bit. He goes, where? What plane is this? Where am I?
I don't think it's your plane.
It looks like it's been... How long have I been here?
That was actually going to be my question for you, which is going to make this troublesome.
Would we have gotten any inkling of how long it's been based on the posting?
It's been about 3-4 months since the first rumors kind of started. Yeah.
So give or take about 3 or 4 months, maybe.
And you see, it's weird. Expression on his metallic face is kind of bizarre, especially because he has no like irises or pupils. It's just kind of this like metallic structure. But he looks and you see his eyes just widen. And he goes, "I've been here that long. I was in my forge. I was crafting with my brethren. How this doesn't make any. I can't. I have to go."
I'm going to pick up the shards.
Okay.
But I'm going to take like a cloth out, like just I'm sure I have like a handkerchief or something, and just like kind of scoop it up. I don't really want to touch it.
They broke into 2 main pieces. It's metallic. It's made out of some kind of metal.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can take it if you want, for sure.
Vulko, do you know what this is? It fell off of you.
He reaches out and he takes one of the pieces and he turns it in his hands. 1 second, let me go to... he says, I have never seen this type of craftsmanship before. It's not azer craft, that's certain. And he hands it back to you. He goes, there's some kind of writing on the inside of that manacle. I can't read it.
Do I recognize it just from...
Roll. Do you want to see if you can read it, or you want to identify the language?
I'll start with identifying the language.
Okay,
Yes.
What languages do you speak?
Celestial, Common, and Draconic.
Oh, you can read it, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll actually
It is
see Cain leaning over and like kind of show him a bit.
Yeah, it is in Draconic. Okay. What Cain over Celty's shoulder with it? Can you read Draconic?
No.
Okay,
I cannot.
Celty and Cain, what the two of you can actually read on it. Cain, you looking over Celty's shoulder, is it's part of. It doesn't seem like it's a complete inscription, but what it says is, "And Optimus will inherit the land, and the Queen of Chaos shall be no more." Cain, roll me a religion check.
I was about to say, what's going on here?
Spooky.
You said religion?
Mm-hmm.
18.
Nice, man. Nice.
17 plus 1.
Yeah. Right. You know immediately that this is part of a sacred and well-guarded text. That's part of a dragonborn prophecy. It's actually in the religious texts from Optimus And Verzen Dragonborn known about this as well, but the original tomes are kept in Omnibus that speaks about the coming of great champions that will lead the Dragonborn into a new age, permanently sealing Tiamat away forever. Only a Dragonborn would know this line. The two of you have... You've never...
I can read it, but it doesn't make any...
It makes no sense. Queen of Chaos...
Sounds like some poetic...
It sounds like
dribble.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but the meaning of it means nothing to you.
Gotcha. Hey, Celty, do you mind if I grab that and take a closer look at it?
Sure, that it doesn't really strike me as anything that I understand. So sure, here.
And at this point, Vulko pushes himself off his knees into a standing position, and he turns. He looks back at this bubbling pit of lava, and he says, "That's the source of all of this. It's a portal to my world, a portal to the plane of fire.
That is...
It looks like the influence has been leaking into this plane. Is this the material plane? Is that where I am?"
Yes,
Vulko turns back to the three of you and goes, whatever you desire of me, it is yours. My life is in your debt, but if we're to save this forest, save it from leaking out any further and damaging this place, I have to close it from the other side.
Can you do that?
I believe I know how. And if not, I have brethren smarter than I am that can help me.
Is that the azer you mentioned?
Yes, the azer, my brothers. I am an azer of the elemental plane of fire.
I caught the fire bit, but
You see that it's not so much a chuckle as it's more like a almost a somber, like half-hearted, like chuckle. But when he does, his beard does flare slightly because he finds it amusing.
Can I just make a general insight check to, like, I know like he was clearly like brainwashed, but
Yeah, just
still the type of person he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can make an insight check.
15.
He seems truly remorseful. He seems almost heartbroken. He has the look in his eyes that I would say in Celty's life she's seen before, of someone who is going to carry remorse with them for a long time.
Okay. Well, how would you suggest we start to fix this mess?
Well, first and foremost, I have to thank you for freeing me. Whatever horrible damages have been wrought, I will deal with that for the rest of my days. If whatever I can do, I'll find a way to get in contact with you when I'm more myself, and I'll find a way to make amends with the people here. But now, as a thank you, and he walks over to that throne that was made out of all these like burnt wood, and you see he ducks behind it and he pulls out this bundle of cloth, and he walks it over to you all, and he holds it out to you. He goes, "This is a small token of my gratitude of you freeing me. Please take it."
Oh, just take it from him.
And you feel there's something in that bundle as well. But yeah, you don't have to open it now. Yeah.
I think I'll wait. Yeah.
But Vulko says, if you all ever find yourself in the elemental plane of fire, find me in the mountains of the Azer. I have a lot that I owe you for, and I'd love to show you I'd love to show you the elemental plane of fire when it's not. And he kind of gestures around to all this like destruction. It's not like this.
Should we go get Simone?
That was my thought as well. I am happy to send you back to your home. My only concern, if you truly do not recall how you wound up here, and it appears something had controlled your mind, we have a friend who may be able to help us pinpoint some idea of the origin, perhaps.
He straightens up and he looks back at the pond of lava, looks at you, says, I have been gone from my home for many days, but if that is what you wish, my life is yours.
Will this detour harm you or cause any more damage if left unattended?
I don't know. Until now, I've never left my home plane. But this portal has to be closed. If not, the energies will keep leaking to your world. More beings from my plane can come here and wreak havoc. The sooner we close it, the better. If this Simone, you called her, has some sort of ability to do that, then perhaps she can be of aid.
She'd be the most knowledgeable out of the ones we know.
I agree.
And during all this, Salanop has just been she's sat down like a nearby kind of like burnt stump, and she's just kind of watching you guys. She goes, man, oh man.
And that's whenever I just kind of poke my head out from the group and just go, do you want to come and grab a drink?
Yeah, where you guys going?
Port Mara.
Port Mara?
Yes.
Yeah, what the hell, I got some time.
Okay.
All right. He hefts her club up over her shoulder, and she goes, all right, how the hell do we get out of here?
We walk.
I'm following you.
I was about to say, I would hope I know a vague sense of how to get back.
Yeah.
Still
and you
pretty.
see-
Is it in the night? Like, is it nighttime still?
It is the evening, yes. It is. Yeah, it is late at night. You guys do see Vulko when he's around you guys. You know how he was radiating that heat that was kind of hurtful to you before. You have seen that he's kind of dimmed that temperature, and ever since that bracelet shattered, the heat in the area has actually subsided. It's still warm.
Yeah.
But it is in no way like stifling like it was during your fight.
Salanop, is there anybody we should be notifying on your end that could potentially help seal this rift?
I mean, I'll tell Chester, and he'll tell the mages back in Fortune Hold, and I don't know, they'll go from there. I mean, if it sounds like Simone is the mage in residence for Port Mara.
That's correct.
She's the right authority to notify.
Okay.
By the way, just as a flex, I put my axe on my shoulder and then I say small, and then immediately slide it back into my pocket.
And when you do that, Salanop goes, cool trick. All right, let's go. I just want to confirm, you guys are taking Vulko and Salanop with you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And unless either one of them chooses to do something else.
Okay. No, that's totally fine. Yeah. Okay.
Vulko,
Yes.
before we leave,
Yeah.
had you summoned those mephits and those magmen, or was it?
I don't have that kind of capability. Why were they?
Well, they were certainly aiding you in protecting the.
I was working with them.
Yes.
You
They seem to be
yourself
serving you.
The king of Scorched Timbers.
I called myself. I don't know, and I don't remember any of that.
It seemed a bit presumptuous to me, honestly, but
I give a sarcastic bow and just go, my liege.
He goes, no, I don't know how to control mephits or work with them, they're vile, impish little pests.
okay, agreed. Well, I think if there's no way of maintaining a watchful eye over this rift, we better hurry back to Port Mara.
And as you are leaving the glen, Vulko does stop, and he looks back at the pit. He goes, Celty, is it?
Yes.
You bring up a good point. I would like to suggest that I stay here and do my best to prevent anything else coming through while in your absence. I won't go home. As I said, my life is yours, and that's my word as a craftsman.
Not necessarily
Do I
worried.
believe him?
Roll an insight
I
check.
was about to say, yeah.
And I'm going to do it properly this time. I am still exhausted from last session.
Oh, you are.
I should be doing this stuff at
you saw that
disadvantage.
exhaustion. Yeah.
One of them was a 17, but the other one's a natural 1.
Oh.
Total 6.
Total 6. Yeah, it's still natural 1.
Yeah.
He seems like the most honest and forthright being of the elemental plane of fire you have ever met.
As just a level up point of order, since
Yeah.
we leveled up right before this.
Yeah.
Since I got extra spell slots, but it's not a new day.
You have those spell slots now.
I do.
I'm going to say yes.
But I don't have those spells prepared. Any new spells prepared?
No new
correct?
spells prepared.
Just extra
so
slots.
You have the new slots, so you can use them.
Darn it! I have a Zone of Truth as a second level option, but I haven't prepared that.
Sir, my only issue with you staying here, even though we should have someone watching this, because that does pose an interesting point of order, is we're not 100% sure you won't revert back to your Scorched Timbers and kingliness.
And you see that he hefts that warhammer that he was using, the one that was like spewing fire out of the head of it, and he holds it out to you, and he goes, "An azer's craft is his life. Take it until you return. This is my word, and this is my bond."
Just kind of sheepishly, just like, okay.
And you take it, and the second it leaves his hands, the fire extinguishes from it, but it's still a marvelously, beautifully crafted weapon. And he said, and he says, "If it's all right," and he's kind of deferring to you right now. Mm-hmm. He says, "If it's all right with you, I will stay here."
I think this may be the best option we have. I don't know how comfortable I feel with about this, but I think this is our best option.
I trust this azer.
Thank you. And he gives you a pat on the shoulder, but he doesn't realize kind of how exhausted you are. So you kind of stumble forward a few steps, and he goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you Varis, right?"
Yes.
I will make you a helm like none you've ever seen. I am deeply sorry.
Vulko, will you be defenseless without your hammer?
And he puts up his fist, and you see that they flare on fire. He goes, "An azer is never defenseless."
Fair enough. Well,
and he goes, "And like I can headbutt stuff, and it catches on fire too."
Does he? Because we had a pretty lengthy battle with him. Is he looking pretty roughed up?
He looks like he's feeling it. He does look a little rough.
I'll do a cure wounds.
Okay.
On him.
Okay. Yeah.
If you didn't, I was.
All right. 5 points of health.
Okay. And while he didn't take any like open wounds, because his body is actually a construct of metal, you see some of like the scuffs and dirt kind of just seem to fade away, and he gleams a little bit more bronzy bright, and he goes, "Thank you." And he turns around. He walks probably to where he's about 10 feet away from that lava pond, and he kind of just sits down, like the traditional like samurai thing, like on his heels, and he just kind of sits there, and he's just staring at the pond now. Like he's not like disregarding you, but he's decided like this is what I'm. Yeah. This is my task now.
Well, on we go, I suppose.
Yeah, on we go.
Okay. All right. Okay, point of order while you are walking through the forest. Celty, do you want to look at that bundle that he gave you?
I was planning while we were walking, if I can, cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
As a ritual? Okay.
Like, can we do that? Can I do that as we're walking? Like, if it's... Or is that going to be too...
What would be the casting time of you casting it as a ritual?
I believe it's 10 minutes. Yeah, concentration up to 10 minutes. So...
I'll say that you guys maybe walk a short way and you guys take a quick breather, and that's when you cast Detect Magic on it, if you want to.
If not, I can... It's going to take 10 minutes regardless, because it is a ritual.
Yeah, so moving and casting it would be kind of tricky, so I'll say you guys would have to stop to cast it.
All right. So I'd actually like to do that on both the bundle and because it should illuminate anything, right? I believe in like a 30-foot sphere. So I'd like to focus on the bundle as well as the shackle bracelet that was on him.
Okay. Good to know. Okay, so the bundle of cloth is actually a robe.
Okay.
And in that robe, you actually see it's about a dinner plate sized metal crab is also in there. So you cast Detect Magic. The crab has a what would be the thing? Actually, you know what? I'm going to say the crab doesn't. In my world, the crab doesn't light up. Okay, but the robe does.
Okay.
And the robe, you see that the robe itself is kind of plain. It's like a gray cloak, a
Okay.
gray robe. And that's not what lights up magical. Instead, it's all these patches that are sewn onto it. And every single one screams conjuration.
Okay. So they're all of the patches are the same as conjuration.
All of them have conjuration.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and the other one is it's like a metal crab about the size of a dinner plate.
Okay. And the shackle.
The shackle School of Magic on that one is enchantment.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
But just through even though you can only tell what kind of school it is, you can tell that it's an insanely complex weaving of an enchantment
On the robe.
No, it's on the shackle.
Oh, on the shackle.
Like it's a more powerful enchantment upon that shackle than you've ever seen.
Okay.
And I'm saying enchantment in terms of like instilling it into the magical item, but it is also the school of enchantment. Like,
Okay. Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Its magical aura is super strong and complex.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
As well as
I'm just gonna fold everything back up into the robe.
Okay.
Like the shackle. Well, unless you're still examining.
I'm holding
the
on to the shackles.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then I'll give you back the shackles and say these are clearly enchanted with what I don't know.
Noted.
And then I'll wrap the crab. I'll kind of show them the crab with the confused look on my face and the robe, and then I'll kind of wrap it back up. And maybe Simone should take a look at these.
And Salinop, who's with you guys, she goes, "Oh my god, those are fun little guys. That's a Vox Seeker. The crab you got is a Vox Seeker.
You're familiar with this equipment?
Oh yeah, they're all over the place.
What's a Vox Seeker?
Oh, it's like well, when you activate it, basically what it does is it just goes after the closest voice to it and just attacks it.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. I'm going to keep this wrapped up. Okay, great.
I mean, you gotta hit the switch.
If I hit the switch, will it attack me?
I mean, if you say something, probably.
So it's indiscriminate. Okay.
Yeah, Chester and I used to use those. Prank my dad a lot.
Fun. I like you.
Thanks.
And I just hover my finger. No, we'll wrap it up.
You can tell it is designed to not be like accidentally activated. Like you have to be pretty intentional. It's like the switch has like the switch guard around it where you have to get it just like there's no knocking it from the side. You gotta get it straight on.
Gotcha. Okay.
But Salinop, she kind of looks at the robe and she goes, "Well, that's kind of ugly, but I mean, okay."
It seems like a normal robe, maybe magical.
But why don't you, I don't know, pull one of the patches off, see what happens?
I think we will wait.
Okay.
Just roll those dice, see what happens.
And in the back of Celty's head, it's just like, actually, that would be kind of fun. Yeah. And she's like, you know, when you have like a loose thread on a piece of clothing and you're trying to, you know, you shouldn't be pulling it, but you're like,
I will tell you this: while you were, because it took you 10 minutes to cast Detect Magic, so you would have gotten a good look at the robe. I will say that you do notice that some of the patches have very recognizable stitchings on them. Like you see two that have a dagger stitched into it. You see two that have a like lantern stitched. There's one that has like a mirror. One that's just kind of made like a pole. There's some like a coiled rope. There's one that literally just like an empty sack is stitched onto it. The other ones have shapes, not things stitched into them. Right. But those ones you recognize those items.
Okay.
That is very strange.
Should I? I mean, there's two of these dagger ones, so
we don't know what's gonna happen, though.
I'm inclined to agree with. Cain.
Okay. We'll wait.
Okay. That's fine. I don't care.
I'm too tired for this.
Okay. Okay. Cain, you said you were going to lead the way?
Yes, sir.
All right. Roll me a survival check.
A solid addition. 19.
19. Okay. In a way, faster than you all made your way in, you guys suddenly find yourselves, after about only an hour of walking, coming out of the woods. Here's the strange thing. Over that hour, and I'll say that, Celty, you're the most aware of this, being that you're a cleric of the Twilight Domain. Mm-hmm. As you're walking, almost imperceptibly, it goes from the middle of the night to middle of the day. Do you two notice it at last when it seems like you're in the middle of the day and you'll have to stop and take it in?
I'm flat out doing like a religion arcana. You know, I'm like pulling from all my knowledge on what this kind of phenomenon would be.
Roll an arcana check.
I was going to say, my axe is coming out because I'm just like, this is not normal.
I mean, it's not an immediate thing. I mean, it's over the course of an hour, but it's still, I mean, it's not so much the course of an hour of like sunrise happening. It goes from like sunrise happens and mid-morning and holy shit, it's midday. And over the course of 1 hour.
That's a big 4.
A big 4? Nada, man. Celty, you have no idea what's going on.
And it's full sun up in the sky. It's
sun's out. Beautiful.
And it seemed like the middle of the night previously, right?
Absolutely it did.
How long did we left?
It's been one night since you left.
Like it was one full night? Like
you guys spent a night in the woods. Because you guys got there at dusk and went in.
Okay.
It should be
so you guys spent
late night.
Yeah. Can I turn? So we're out of the woods right now, right?
You guys are just, I would say that the edge of the tree line is about 50 yards away. And you do hear voices. A lot of voices. You can't see anything yet, but you hear commotion from outside of the woods.
What type of voices? Do they sound like?
It sounds kind of like what it, the center of a city on like a market day or a feast. It just sounds like a lot of people talking, a lot of discussion. There's some shouting above it all, but you can't make out any distinct voices at all.
Should we be prepared for something?
And Salanop goes, okay, so I'm not the only one who saw like the whole night to day thing happen. And she's just like looking up the trees, like expecting someone to come down on her. She's gripping that club of hers a little tighter. She goes, because like, I'm just telling you guys, that was weird.
Agreed.
Did one of you do that? I mean, is that like some like...
Not I.
This is news to us.
Celty?
I dabble in darkness and light, but that is not something I can do. And I want to turn back and look towards the woods a little bit. Do I notice anything? Like, towards the thicker part of the woods? Like...
Looks like
just...
Same time of day. High noon.
Yeah, maybe we should keep moving, but cautiously.
Agreed.
Keep an eye out for whoever is making that ruckus.
As you all break out, you all see hundreds of people standing probably about 50 more yards away. You see that some of them have pitchforks. Some of them actually have swords in their hands. You see women and children. And in front of them all, you see Simone talking with some people. And when you all break out, you all hear a voice say, "Hey, is that them? Is that them?" And Simone turns and she goes, "Oh, thank goodness." And she makes her way towards you. You all see quickly on her heels is Professor Fellows. And walking next to Professor Fellows is this half-orc. He's wearing a very nice like tunic top. He's wringing his hands. He has these glasses on. He's wringing his hands, and he's just kind of walking at the professor's side. Simone comes up to you, and she goes, "Are you?" And she touches each of you in turn to kind of examine you. She goes, Are you all right?"
We're a little worse for wear, but...
What?
We had a scuffle.
And she sees Salanop, and she kind of like acknowledges Salanop, kind of furrows her brow at her, and then goes back to you all. She goes,
a Waggletop from Fortune Hold.
"Oh, she... Well, okay, we'll go into why there's a Waggletop with you later. But, I mean... What happened in there? You all...
Simone, kind of pull out point of order. Did we... I forgot. It's been a second. Did we give Simone instructions on if we don't come back in a certain amount of time... Nothing. Okay.
No, we didn't do that.
All right. Simone, why is there such a commotion? We've only been gone a night.
Well, I didn't intend for this many people to arrive, but... Well... Let's just say over the past 10 days, you all have become somewhat of local celebrities in town.
10 days.
I'm sorry.
You
Yes, you all entered 10 days ago. 10 nights.
No. We were only there one night.
It's only been a few hours.
Yes, it's been.
What are you?
4 or 5 hours. What?
No, we're all here because we thought that, well, the people of Port Mara thought that their heroes who rescued them from the gargoyles had gone missing. They're all here to search for you.
We dealt with the gargoyles yesterday.
How could...
Right? That was yesterday.
I think
No, that
Simone.
us. Like,
was
yesterday.
11 days ago.
Simone, I think you should tell the townspeople we are fine. They should go back. They should not expect us for about probably 2 weeks, and you need to come with us.
And about the time you say that, there's this group of kids that run up. They go, Cain! Yeah, Cain! And they're all like grabbing at you, Cain. And she goes, dude, you all have been the talk of the Chattering Parrot for the past, well, as long as you all have been in that woods. You've, I guess overnight to you all, but over the past week and a half, you've become local celebrities to Port Mara.
That put my chest a little bit.
And they, of course, they recognize you as Cain because you're the only dragonborn some of these kids have ever seen.
Celty is definitely like making sure her mask is hidden. And she can't really turn off her armor. So.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. But she says, "What? Tell me." And at this point, the professor kind of nudges her aside. He goes, "No, excuse me, Simone. These are my employees. Boys, I'm glad you're all right. We were supposed to leave."
Professor, it's been a day. Professor, it's been a day.
And at this point, that half-orc that's behind me goes, "Professor, we talked about when they come. If we find them alive, we're just grateful." And he goes, "Yes, you're right, Dodrin. You're right. Okay, I am very happy that you're fine. Truly, boys. But you've caused me to delay my expedition."
And I just repeat, it's been a day.
Fellows, I'm sorry, but I think the expedition, while incredibly important, will have to be put on hold. There is well, you might want to come see this. In fact, it would be very interesting to an academic of your stature.
Very well.
Simone,
Okay.
Fellows, can we come aside?
Certainly. And they'll both follow you. The half-orc does come along as well.
Yeah. Okay. Do I recognize Dodrin? I'm assuming, or
Yeah, you recognize Dodrin.
Okay.
Dodrin is Professor Fellow's assistant.
I'm just patting all the kids on the head and just like, hello.
And they go, Cain, do the thing. My dad said you can do the thing.
I have no idea what they're talking about, so I just pick up one kid and just toss him into the air.
And they go, no, Cain, the thing.
I was about to say that I just pull out my axe and say small.
And you hear like, oh yeah, you did it. It's a shrinking axe. Yeah. And they all go running back to their parents.
I was about to say, my eyes are just going separate ways at this point because I'm just so confused.
Okay, follow me on this.
And this, you're saying this with Simone and the professor?
yeah. Well, I kind of like want to huddle everybody. Like,
Okay.
Varis, Cain, Salanop, Fellows, Simone. You know,
Simone, are you able to send a message to Fortunehold?
Oh, certainly. I have my means. Why?
Are you familiar with Chester? Is it Chester?
Yeah, Chester Waggletop.
Are you familiar with this Chester or someone?
I am not familiar. I'm familiar with his father, Hiram.
Could you message Hiram and ask how long his niece? Am I getting that relation right?
And she goes, Hiram is my uncle.
Okay. How long has Salanop been missing?
So one moment. She goes off to the side for a few moments. You guys can keep talking while she's doing her thing.
Quick point of order.
Yeah.
I would like to take whichever half that of the bracelet that has Optimus on it.
Yeah, that has the...
And try to just find a spot to hide that deep within a pocket or something.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, pull it away in the folds of your tunic or something. Certainly.
Yeah, I keep the other half very prominently out though.
Okay, the half that doesn't have the etching on it. Okay, good to know.
And then, Varis, if I'm understanding this, and Cain anybody jump in, but did we get stuck in time?
It would appear
Hi. Dodrin here. Hi. Good to meet you. I understand we're going to be working together. It's nice to meet you under weird circumstances. It's a pleasure.
The assistant.
I think it'll help us understand how we can help you. If what happened?
Well,
And you see Dodrin always when he's like not speaking or he's listening, he always has his like hands clasped in the middle of his chest, and kind of like he's very tall even for a half orc, but he stands kind of with like this stoop, and he has these glasses. He's like, if a half orc was like a nerd, like it's Dodrin.
Nice.
This should probably stay confidential for the time, at least out of the earshot of the townsfolk. The king of Scorched Timbers was real.
It was really a ghost.
It was much more than a ghost. There is...
Professor Fellows chimes in at this point. He goes, "Wait, Dodrin." He kind of slaps Dodrin on this side. He goes, "Dodrin, I told you 1,000 times. Ghosts are a figment of the religious sect's minds. It's a way for them to try and make us go to church every day."
Oh, Professor, you just haven't seen enough of the world, apparently. Ghosts are absolutely real.
And Celty, what are you doing here?
You didn't know you hired me. I'm what you're called, what you would call a subcontractor.
And Dodrin picks up. He goes, yes, Professor. You mentioned that Celty would be joining us on our expedition, that you needed her particular skills. I did. Yes, sir. Roll a deception check with advantage because Dodrin's
What
helping
a
out.
bro.
I'm liking this Dodrin. You said deception?
Yeah.
15.
1 second.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Well, okay. I guess welcome to the expedition.
Well, it's great to be on board. And
Yes.
and of course, I'll only
Okay.
take the friend's rate.
Excuse me, I might be feeling a little lightheaded. And he kind of just goes off, and Dodrin goes. And at this point, Simone returns, and Simone goes, Selenup, I don't know how to tell you this. No one from your family has seen you in almost half a year.
And Selenup, how long did you say you were in the woods?
I was there for only like 5 days? 6 at the most.
So, if we were gone
I just
for...
want to say real quick, doing like 4 NPC voices all in one conversation is stretching my acting.
You're doing really well.
You are.
You're trucking along, bud.
Anyways, back to the...
So, if Selenup was gone in her time...
Female, right?
yes.
Okay.
If Selenup was gone in her time... In her perception, 5-ish days, but in others' perception, half a year, and we were only gone for a few hours, and that turned into 10 days. I think we should talk and walk, and we need to go into the woods. There is an elemental rift with a very confused, but I think well-meaning azer guarding that portal. And if we don't come back soon,
All right.
he's probably going to panic.
Okay, someone goes, Professor, come on. We're heading into the woods now. And Professor goes, right. Be right with you.
Before we leave, you should tell anybody that needs you in the next couple of days that you will probably be gone for those days.
Yes, we'll certainly do that. All right, I'll return in a moment. And she goes over and she speaks to a few of the town's people, and they kind of nod their heads, and some of them are looking kind of around her at the three of you, and you see that there's one kid standing next to one of the men who, like, Cain makes eye contact with you and just goes, like, gives you this big, like, enthusiastic wave. To them, a dragonborn is like the biggest, like, fascinating thing to these, like, kids, like, and they're like 5-6 years old.
There's just an awkward wave back of just like the...
Then Simone does eventually return. She goes, all right, I've made arrangements in case we need a few days.
Oh.
No, I said my thing. I was there. I did an inflection up instead of inflection down, so you didn't know it was the end of a sentence. I made it sound like a comma. Simone says that in character.
Nice.
If the Waggletops don't know that Salanop is safe, that might be worth sending them that message.
We exchanged a few messages back and forth. I have assured them that Salanop seems healthy and fine, that she will stay with me in Port Mar for a time, rest up, resupply before she makes the trek back to Fortune Hold.
Do I see Keth or Orton in the crowd at all?
Actually, funny you say that. I was waiting for you to ask that. About this time, you see the crowd break, and you see this. You see this Goliath, and he comes to like a screeching halt, and you see that he's looking around, and he's like, Celty, oh Celty, are you okay?
Just adding those NPC voices.
I know.
And what's the magic shop user? Let's get him in there too.
Mizar.
No, yeah.
None of you see Mizar.
I'm joking. Orton, I'm fine. What are you doing outside of the parrot?
I don't know.
It's okay. It's going to be okay. You can go home.
I heard that you'd come out of the woods and just send someone running back to town, and I ran.
We're fine.
Okay.
You go back. Tell Keth everything's okay.
Okay.
You can go home.
Okay. This is the worst feeling.
Go have a drink. Go lie down. You take a couple deep breaths.
Okay.
You're going to be fine.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
I am so glad you're not dead.
I will sit down, have a drink, and tell you all about it later.
I'm looking. It sounds like it was and this is when he lights up. He's like, it sounds like it was a real adventure. That's for sure. And he turns around, and he just kind of he's very delicately walking back toward making the hour trek back toward. I mean, and think about it. I mean, when you all came walking out, they sent word, and he just busted ass out here.
And before he wanders off, I go, hey, Orton.
Yeah.
Want to hold the hammer before I take it back?
And you see that his face goes slack, and it's like suddenly he's not standing like he's afraid. He just walks over towards it, and he takes it from your hand. He goes, "This is incredible. Where did you get it?"
Our adventure, we found a friend.
Wow.
Who also did this, and I show one of the small gashes that I'm very sure that has not.
And he just goes, "Okay, if that's what's involved in getting a hammer this cool, I'll just tell me the story later." And he hands it back to you.
And I hand him 10 gold, and I just go, "Here's this. Grab a drink. I know this is a distance for you."
Thanks, Cain. And he heads baback towards town, a little skittishly.
Yeah.
If there are any health potions on hand,
Salanop says, "I'm sorry. I'm all sorry. I can still heal a little bit, but I'm kind of tapped on everything else I can do. But I think it's important for us just to get in there and see what's what."
I'm assuming I don't have temporary hit points anymore from the fight.
You would have them still.
Yeah, I still when I leveled up, it didn't take mine away. So if you have them on there,
and if you haven't taken a long rest yet, you still.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was an hour.
No.
Okay,
it's a long rest.
Okay,
but Professor Fellows, I think, should stay here.
Excuse me, Celty. I will go see whatever this true danger is. If this is as fascinating as it sounds, why, a member of the Seekers Guild should be there to examine it.
And I just walk over to him and I hand him the hammer and I go, exactly, a Seekers Guild member should be holding this.
And he takes it and he goes, oh gosh, okay.
Put it over your shoulder, it helps.
You're right, Professor, you are the boss. Let's walk and talk.
And Simone goes, well, shall we, will one of you please lead the way so we can find it a little quicker?
Cain seems to know the way quite well at this point.
Cain, since you've made the trek in and out, roll survival with advantage.
Triple advantage? No.
Another 17, so 19 again.
Jeez.
First one was a 9.
And again, an hour in, you guys come across, and the woods are still scorched, but it doesn't transition back to night. It's still
daytime,
noon, middle of the day.
As we're walking, I want to just kind of convey everything that we ran across to Simone and
so you
Professor Fellows.
Here's where we blew up the people.
Yeah.
Here's where we blew up the other people.
On your right, you will see where we fought some mephits, and on your left,
absolutely,
magmen. Don't touch them; they blow up.
Yeah. But after an hour of trekking through the woods, you guys do come back to that glen, and you guys see that Vulko is still sitting there just as you left. But when he hears you all approaching, he looks over his shoulder and he stands up. And as you all enter with Simone and Dodrin and the professor, he puts like a fist in one of his palms in front of his chest, and he just bows deeply to all of you. And comes back up and he goes, "Oh, it's good to see that you've returned."
How long were we gone?
An hour, no more. Although it seemed almost half a day passed since you were gone.
Wait. I'm confused on the time dilation right now. Like,
I think we came, like, it was present, it just ended. And all released is the way it's presenting.
okay.
So now we're back on the same flat timeline.
Yeah,
So
it's only been an hour, but this sky.
Vulko, did it transition from night to day in about an hour for you as well?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Sorry, I meant 2 hours. I was thinking
Sure.
Yeah, you guys
Gotcha.
were gone for about 2 hours, but
Right.
but he said over the course of an hour it became midday.
Gotcha.
It may have been longer than a few months.
What do you mean?
It would appear that something has happened in these woods. It appears to be ended now. We spent but 5 hours in these woods to come see what was happening here when we found you.
Yes.
We were gone from town for 10 days.
No, that's. He looks at all three of you, and his eyes pass over Dodrin and Simone as well, and the professor, and he goes, "That's not possible."
According to the people in town, that's how long we've been gone.
These two can attest. Pointing at Simone and the professor, or three, I guess.
But not.
Sorry, and I'm not used to the new face.
If it's truly been that long, then. And he kneels down in front of all three of you, and he puts his palms on the ground as well, and kind of prostrates himself in front of the three of you. He goes, "Please release me so I can return home."
I think that's best. I think we should get you home.
And Simone walks over and kind of puts her hand on his back as he stands. She goes, "I understand that none of this was your doing, and you did not wish it upon our people." And he goes, I've never hurt anything before in my life. I'm a craftsman. I make weapons and jewelry. I don't shed blood."
Cain, I believe you still have the shackle that bound him to and caused him to act out in malicious.
I pass over the other half of the shackle.
And Simone examines it, and she says, "Vulko, it was lovely to meet you. If you go, I can set about closing this portal from our end." And Vulko says, "Understood." And he walks over to the edge of that lava pit. And passive perceptions are 15 for Celty and Varis.
Yep.
Correct?
Yes.
The two of you, as she's saying this, and as you guys see Vulko turns and starts walking towards the lava pit, you see for the briefest moment when she looks at this half of the manacle that was on Vulko, you see a look of deep concern and almost dread quickly just flash across Simone's face, and then it's gone. But Vulko goes up to it, and he turns back around to where his back is now facing that lava. And he looks at the three of you and he goes, "I consider the three of you brethren for what you did for me. I'm in your debt eternally." And he just falls back, and you see he splashes into the lava, and he's gone.
The righteous drop.
Simone says, "Well, I think the three of you and Salinop and the professor and Dodrin might want to head back into town. I'll stay here. It'll take me a few hours to close this, but nothing else should come through. I'm going to assume that Vulko will protect it from on his end until it's fully closed. You all go and get some rest. You look exhausted."
Are you sure you don't need any assistance?
"I'll be all right. Thank you."
Celty wants to hang back just a little, like follow out, but before, wants to be at the back of the group. Leaving.
I get it. Everyone kind of starts going. The professor kind of takes Varis and Cain in arm and says, "Now, boys, let's start talking about the expedition." And he kind of leads you all.
Did fellows give back the hammer?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll say that Vulko, as part of Vulko leaving, he would have gotten his camera back and all that. I'm not going to go back and retcon the badass send-off I just did.
we just toss it into the pool of lava.
Or you see a head come out and like, hammer. But the professor is now talking to you guys as you guys are going out, and I'll mention to you what he says. But yeah, you would have a moment or two.
Yeah, as we're leaving, I want to put the hand on shoulder for on Simone's shoulder and kind of just give her a look of, should we be concerned?
And she pats it and she goes, it'll be fine, Celty, I promise. It'll be fine.
All right. And then I just keep walking.
All right. You catch up to them. As you guys are walking, the professor basically relays, I'm not going to role play, so I'm just going to tell you. The professor still plans to go on the expedition, but he is going to delay the leave in 4 days.
Okay.
So, and 4 days not including the current day. So, after you guys long rest, you'll have 4 days before the expedition leaves. As you all are walking, Dodrin also says, if you all are interested in coming and seeing the provisions and the equipment that we have for the trip, you're welcome to come by the professor's estate anytime before we leave, and I can show you the carts. We have equipment. We have 2 wagons. I procured as well 2 horses, 1 for each wagon. And some equipment. So if you guys are interested in just seeing what we have, you're more than welcome to come by. So I'll just say that you guys can go back to town and take a long rest if you want.
Yeah. Yes, please.
At the Chattering Parrot. I mean, Celty, if you want to, you can either go back and stay at the Chattering Parrot, or you can go home.
I'll go to the Chattering Parrot at first because it's midday.
Yeah.
Kind of get a drink, kind of rest. I'm sure there's a spot where I can take a nap or something. But I will.
Since Orton is working, he'll let you actually stay in his room.
Okay, but I do. In these 4 days, I'm planning on going back to my place.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. But go ahead and take your all's long rest. I will say that we will pick up with what you guys decide to do. It's about 4 days of downtime for you guys to select what you want to do. I'll say, so those 4 days, we will see what you guys decide to do on our next episode. I bet you guys weren't expecting the time disjunct.
No, that was crazy. Yeah. We hit the edge. I was like, "What the hell is happening?"
We're aware that this isn't a audio medium, but all 3 of us were like, "What?" Just looking back and forth.
I may or may not have been trying to do math. It's like, okay, so 1 hour equals 1 day.
I'll say it is not an exact this much time in the forest equates this much time.
Right, sure.